toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothed the grass which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye when ye shall eat or when ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
We're going to be lords. We're royalty. We're going to have the allodial title. We're going to have the rights of the land, of the home, of our wives, our children, our slaves, our properties, our cattle, so on and so forth. We're not going to be subjected to payments anymore.
Hey, Shalom. All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Chakodash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh. In his son's name, who the word inwardly called Jesus Christ, real name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Also giving praises, honor, and glory unto the Yahweh Chakodash, the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes this edification possible. I want to say shalom to all you sincere-hearted Akim wa Akwat, that's you brothers, and few sincere sisters make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. Also want to give double honors unto my beloved apostle and elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth and who rule well. And I'm the brother Osman Wath here from the Great Millstone Dallas camp. And a Shabbat Shalom, by the way. We're still in the Sabbath. So this Sabbath, afternoon, just want to touch into, as you can see, the title of this topic. All right, it says America and EU are on the same path of decline as ancient Rome. Yeah, America and EU are on the same path of decline as ancient Rome. Okay, and this was prophesied all throughout the scriptures. You see, particularly here, in the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter, Daniel, the 7th chapter. Okay, as a matter of fact, I want to grab this first in the book of Ecclesiastes, as it tells us that there's nothing new under the sun. And I got this article off of, it's called the freemaninstitute.com, Return to Glory, Why Do World Empires Decline and Fall? Okay, and it's a great article. I've done a lesson on it probably maybe about 2 years ago, but as we can see, that America, right, this whole beast system, okay, that we could read about in Revelation, the 13th chapter, which started with, the Grecian Empire, then you had the Roman Empire, and here we are in the revised Roman Empire. This whole beast system, this Edomite empire, you so-called white people's empire, is going down. And we see the tokens, we see the writing on the wall. Okay, so, as scripture says, how it shines brighter and brighter, okay, until that day. And I want to grab this first before we get into it. And, I'm just going to mainly read this article, on this lesson. And we'll pull a few precepts, as we read the article. And I'm pretty sure, you Akim, y'all going to have your precepts as well. So feel free to, edify the flock. By putting up the scriptures on the comment board, Baba Kashah, Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. Okay, but this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, and verse 9. It says, the thing that had been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. I'm going to get this in the NLT real quick, the New Living Translation. And hopefully you can see my screen, good, off the camera phone, as I record it off the laptop, because I'll usually, do it on StreamYard, but every time I get on StreamYard, like these past few months, it's just been bugging out on me. So I'm, just recording it this way off my phone, just having it facing the laptop. But this is Ecclesiastes 1:9. Let's see the NLT version. Let's see, where's it at? Yep, here it goes. It says it says history merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. See, history merely repeats itself. And as we're about to go into this article here, okay, and the water aqua for letting me know that it looks clear. So understanding what the scripture just says, history merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Okay, as we go through this article, why do world powers decline and fall? And in this article is mainly highlighting, as you can see here, it says the history of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. And as we read this article, is going to, this information, those of us that's been in the know, learning from our beloved apostles and elders and bishops and Akim, right? These are things that we know already. But this article just really highlights specific points that we can clearly look into, current events today, and it'll be like, wow, like, yo, we here. We are literally at the end of this nightmare. We are at the end, as scripture says, Esau is the end of the world. Let's get that. We're at the end of the world, meaning we're at the end of our wicked twin brothers' rulership, which means what? We're up next. 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. Straight to the point, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, meaning the age. You see, because the planet Earth in and of itself is always going to be here. Okay? Because the planet Earth was created first and foremost for our beloved Lord Yahweh Shah. All right? And for the sons of God. So this planet is always going to be here. So this world is speaking about, it's talking about this current age, this current dispensation of the time of the Gentiles. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So as we go through this article, this should encourage us as believers, okay, and strengthen our faith and hope and confidence in Yahweh Shema Shah, okay, as we see the decline of America. So we don't have the same mindset as these slow-bellied Babylonians out here bugging out, seeing these particular plagues and pestilences hit America, man. Because why? As we just read, Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So let's see here. So it says the history of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. And we are in the revised Roman Empire, okay, pursuant to the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, Daniel, the 7th chapter. As a matter of fact, let's grab one real quick. Let's get this here in Daniel chapter 7. Yeah, the water for the precepts, Akim. We definitely gonna get some. As a matter of fact, let me grab this what the brother Bayan Yasharala just put up. And Shalom, Akim, Waqwa, Yahweh Shema Shabrakathum. Okay, so beloved brother Bayan Yasharala just put up Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. That's right. And this is exactly what the so-called white man has built and predicated his whole kingdom and so-called empire off of, is what? Unrighteous dealings. Look at all the particular pacts and treaties he's made, not just with us, okay, especially, the Northern Kingdom, Gad and Reuben, the Native Americans and Seminole Indians made all particular different pacts and treaties and broke every single last one of them. But he's still doing the same thing now. You see, going into these foreign lands, all right, with his pseudo-democracy, okay, and promising them particular things, but just turning around and bombing them the hell up. So it says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, all right, and who has he injured? The whole world. He's taken peace from the earth. It says, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And this has always been happening, okay, especially under the rule and reign of terror of you Edomites. as once again, you know, your beast system began with you coming into power during the time of the Greeks. You can read about that in First Maccabees, the first chapter. And it says what? Many great evils were multiplied in the earth once you got on the power seat, once you got on the throne. And now we're about to witness Yahweh Bashem Shai personally dethrone you. And we're seeing once again tokens and writings on the wall right now. Okay, but let me grab this here in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. And as you read this chapter, you know, it's a famous chapter that's broken down a lot here at Great Millstone. A lot of other Israelite camps don't really touch on it that much. Why? Because they don't have the spirit of our Lord Yahweh Shai, which is the testimony or the spirit of prophecy. But when you read this chapter, it goes into the four major captivities that particularly the southern kingdom of the nation of Israel, okay, also known as the Jews, starting with the head tribe Judah, then Benjamin and Levi will be the particular the four captivities that we'll go through. And here at the very end, we're in the revised Roman Empire. But I'm going to grab here in Daniel 7. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 7. It says, after this, let's see, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, you should be able to see it good. Daniel 7 and 7, it says, after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible. And this is speaking about the ancient pagan Roman Empire, you know, and, you know, even scholars, you know, when you read, you know, a lot of most commentaries, even scholars will agree. And it's quite evident and clear that it's speaking about the Roman Empire. It says dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. You see, and that iron teeth is speaking about Rome's military might, Rome's military power. And it was known for its great use of iron. It said it devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And what made Rome diverse from all the other nations that came before it? Its Senate. All right. The way its, you know, its government was laid out. And you can read about that in First Maccabees, the 11th chapter. It says, and it had 10 horns, speaking about the 10 vassal states that pretty much fed into Rome. And here in these times, they're all back, as we just got in Ecclesiastes 1. History merely repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. In these times, this will consist of NATO and the EU, with it originally, you know, being started out as with having 10 countries. You see now, you know, in these times, there's more than 10. I believe there's like over 20, if I'm not mistaken. But even when you go, let's type this in real quick. Oh, man, hey, look what just popped up on the screen. As I just hit Google. Let me see if I can go back. Look what it says. It's got Trump up there. They got a picture of Trump and his little Trump. And it says, what? Small hatters worry? You see? This is pretty much the vibration that's going out in the world, man. And you small hatters, Amalek, you're backed into a corner. And what does scripture say? The Lord himself said in the book of Exodus, the 17th chapter, he will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And this is definitely a generation that we're in. Also proving that the Edomites are still here. You see, something that Vocab Malone falsely prophesied and said that the Edomites were done away with. Well, how's the Lord going to have wrath with Amalek from generation to generation? So like it. You see, but nonetheless, let me grab this real quick. Let's type this in. Treaty of Rome. Treaty of Rome, Wikipedia says the Treaty of Rome, or EEC, officially the treaty establishing the European Economic Community, and it was established March 25th, 1957. Okay, and the main founders of this was Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, West Germany. Okay, so the Treaty of Rome, that's what that's the founding of the EU, the European Union. You see, proving what? That we are in the revised Roman Empire, with America being the spearheader of it. You see, and the beast system, okay, or the beast, which is NATO and the EU. All right, they are prophesied to go into destruction as well, go into perdition as well. We're going to grab that in Revelation 17. But let me finish this out. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up from among them another little horn. And this little horn that came up from among them is speaking about America. It says, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. Okay, and the 3 of the first horns that was plucked up by the roots is starting with the Spanish, all right, the French, and then the British. All right, you had the Spanish-American War, all right, the French-American War, and then you had the Revolutionary War, which is, okay, America's independence from Britain. Okay, the mother. It says, and behold, in his horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. And who was prophesied to have that mouth speaking great things? You Edomites, Ezekiel the 35th chapter. Let's grab this real quick. This is Ezekiel chapter 35. And let me find this real quick. And when you get the first 2 verses, it says, well, look at the title. It says, prophesy against Mount Seir. Okay. And Mount Seir, just like we are a people before we're a place, Mount Seir is a people before it's a place. And who inhabited Mount Seir? Okay, you Edomites. It says, moreover, verse 1, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Skipping down here, I just wanted to get that context to let you know who this chapter is addressing. The Edomites, verse 10, it says, because thou hast said these 2 nations and these 2 countries shall be mine. And this is what you Edomites have said and are still saying. And what 2 nations and 2 countries, right, are you saying is yours? Talking about the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Israel. You see, you want to have complete possession over us as a people and our land. But we're in the times where the Lord is, he's jealous for his people. He's returned back unto us with mercy, with everlasting mercies. And he's about to get you down gutter rats out of our land. And he's about to destroy you. Point blank, period. This is what this lesson's going into. It says these two nations and these 2 countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Verse 11, therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Bashmal Shah, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. You see, because the Lord is known by his judgments. You see, and all this friction and chaos and turmoil is happening, okay, in the Middle East right now. All right, this is really the Lord, working on the behalf of his people, Israel. You see, and he's got a company of nations assembled against not just Babylon, but against you small headers too. We can't forget that the whole land of Israel is going to be set on fire. You see, get destroyed, but it's going to be rebuilt. All right, pursuant to the gospel, Isaiah the 61st chapter. But let me finish this out. Verse 35, it says, chapter 35 and verse 13, thus with your mouth you have boasted against me, and have multiplied your great words against me. I have heard them. And that proves, when we go to Revelation 13 chapter, it speaks about, this beast blaspheming. Let's grab this real quick. Revelation 13. Revelation chapter 13. I'm tempted to just get the first verse, but like I said, I'm just trying to get straight to the point because I really want to read this article. I want to go through this article. It's got eight main, bullet points, and it's a really good article. But Revelation 13 and verse 5, it says, and there was given unto him a mouth. And who's that him is talking about? We just proved who it was. You Edomites, Ezekiel the 35th chapter. And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. You see, and how does Esau speak great things and blasphemies against Yahweh Bashmal Shah? Okay, well, case in point, just like what that dude Noah Yuval Harari said. Well, if the God of the Bible ever decides to send a drought upon the earth where we can make our own water, you see, his particular laws and legislations that he passed, trying to change people's, molecular, structures. You see, the D to the N to the A. All right. That's how he speaks great things and blasphemies, man. It says, verse 6, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in. You got the whole world believing that the Most High, his son, and the angels, are white entities, so-called white entities. Okay, the Most High is a so-called white man. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's just prove it real quick. When you type in, okay, picture of God. Okay, what pops up? This, all right, all so-called white images, man. You see? Now you got, Elams, little gods or whatnot. You see? But what color are they? You see? Look at that. And this is just one example out of, countless of examples we can go through how he has blasphemed, Yahweh Bashim Shah, okay, his tabernacle, the heavens, right, the angels, you see? And this is something that, Esau has done ever since he came once again up on that throne during the time of the Grecian Empire. First Maccabees, I believe, the third chapter, how they opened up the book of the law and changed their images, changed our images into their images, painted the likenesses of their gods. You see, Zeus, all right, Poseidon, Triton, all these particular, Edomite gods, which really they're all borrowed from, mainly, those Hamitic nations, the Canaanites, which the Lord utterly hates as well because of the odious works of witchcraft. You can read about that in Wisdom of Solomon, 12th chapter. But let me go ahead and start getting into this article. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start getting into this article a little bit. Give me 1 second. So once again, this is off of the Freeman. So give me 1 second. Neighbor making a lot of noise, man. Okay, this is off of freemaninstitute.com. It says the history of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. All right, so we're just gonna, like I said, get these main bullet points off of it, and we're gonna get some scriptures. This is what it's called: measuring the time diligent within itself. And the Lord says, remember the things of old, remember the former times. You see, because at one point the former times were prophesied to come into existence, and it happened. Okay, so this is how we know that we have a more sure word of prophecy. His words are faithful and true. Before we get that, I know we said we're going to start getting that article, but let me read this first. Isaiah 46:9 says, remember the former things of old. You see, so it's good to remember, okay, and think about how the ancient pagan Roman Empire fell. You see, and pursuant to Revelation 13, it was going to receive that deadly wound. But that deadly wound was going to be healed, which it is healed. You see, but now it's about to be, the Lord is about to take Esau out the way completely. You see, but it says, remember the former things of old. So think about how the ancient pagan Roman Empire had its decline and measure that and try to mirror it unto today. How was ancient pagan Roman empires? How was their economic system? How was their military system? How was the morality of the people back then? You see, what was the quality of life back then? And as we're about to go into this article, we're going to see how everything we're about to read concerning ancient Rome, it literally mirrors today. So it says, remember the former things are old, for I'm the Most High, and there is none else. Yeah, that's right. Hey, and no other God can take credit, okay, for these prophecies. No other, you go to the book of Quran, so-called, okay, no prophecies. See, no prophecies given, the so-called book of the dead, okay. No prophecy. So Yahweh Bashim Shah has stamped his name on this. You see? So this is what should give us, confidence and hope and reassurance, okay, that America's going to fall. You see? And you Edomites, y'all are done. For I'm the Most High and there's none else. I am Yahweh Bashim Shah and there's none like me. There's no other power like him. Verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done. That's called what? Prophecy, man. This is why here at Great Millstone, that's all you're going to get is prophecy, because that's what matters at the end of the day. You see, that's our eyesight. And with having a proper understanding of prophecy, that helps us guide our lives, okay, in a worthy way, in a worthy manner, to where we walk with wisdom. You see, understanding the times that we're in, knowing that this is not the end all be all. It says, and from the ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. That's right, man. And part of the Lord's counsel is what? To destroy the kingdom of you Edomites. That's his pleasure. You see? And he's going to set up the throne of David, okay, with his only begotten son, which is Yahushua. All right, then you're going to have King David himself back in the kingdom, okay, and every man his own order, starting with the 144,000, the governing body of the nation of Israel. So this is why we go into, current events. We go into, articles, concerning, ancient kingdoms that rose and fell, because this all gives us a better sense of, prophecy, understanding the things that's about to happen. So with all that being said, let's get into it. And look, I just got breaking news: Israel-Iran war update. From that dude Off Grid Desert Farming, and he's been bringing out a lot of good information here lately. So yeah, man, hey, things are heating up, but we know that the MOTB has to be mandated first, pursuant to the chronology of prophecy. We can't forget that. We're going to have wars and rumors of wars. Even rumors of wars are playing a part of prophecy. Yahushua said it. Matthew the 24th chapter. There's going to be rumors of wars, threats of wars. You see, so they got to happen. It has to happen, man. But you got to continue to watch. And I'll say this as well. We see a lot of and hear about a lot of rumors of wars. Is making the elect watch more, but it's also making these people more desensitized. Let me get that definition: desensitized. Because that's what's happening. People, because they hear a lot of these rumors of wars and they don't see any major, escalations, any major bombings. People's like, shit, well, they said that last month. They said that month before last, But this is just all a part of prophecy. There's going to have to be rumors. Desensitize. All right, says make less sensitive. So people are not sensitive, okay, to the threats and to the impending doom of the third World War III. That's prophesied in the scriptures. Why? Because of these particular rumors, They're used to nations, they're used to seeing articles and watching particular, clips of, Russia saying they're going to do that. Iran saying they're going to do that, but nothing really happens immediately right then and there. But that's still all playing a part of the Lord's plan of prophecy. That's a part of his counsel. And our job as sincere believers is to continue to watch. You see, because a lot of people, even so-called people that's in the truth, so-called, they're going to be dulled and lulled back to sleep because of these rumors. Even Jake is giving up faith and hope now, man. You see that America's going to be destroyed. Oh, well, they've been saying that. Just like it says in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. You see, it says, make someone less likely to feel shock. You see, because everybody felt that shock, that initial shock when what year was that? 2021, when Russia, hit Ukraine heavy at first. Everybody was watching then. Everybody was prophets, But then as months went by, these few years went by, people went back to sleep. They're not as sensitive to these particular threats anymore, to these particular rumors anymore. But that don't mean that shit still ain't gonna, hit the fan, man. Everything's a buildup, to fulfill prophecy. It says, make someone less likely to feel shock or distress at scenes of cruelty, violence, or suffering by overexposure to such images. Ooh, you see? And social media has a part to play in that. It has, and this is a part of Esau's witchcraft as well, I say. Overexposure, to these particular, gruesome images, you see, because, you can, get on RT News or hell, even YouTube in particular, other forms and, outlets of, Esau's media. You can see, especially, like we said earlier, when Russia had started to attack Ukraine, there's a lot of circulating videos of those Ukrainian soldiers just being completely, dismembered. You can see their guts out on the pavement. And a lot of people were seeing that, but now they're desensitized to everything. But this is all a part of the Lord's plans, man. You see, to make you people fall back to sleep. And that's why he's going to come like a thief in the night. All right, unto this world, man. But we're still watching, and Lord willing, he keeps us here up on his watch post. All right, so let's read this. It says, there are many reasons for the fall of the Roman Empire, each one intertwined with the next. Many even blame the introduction of Christianity for the decline. Okay, and as always, pick out, chew the meat and spit out the bones. All right, but my main thing I want to get on this article are these 8 bullet points here. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm not even gonna read that part. Let's just read it down here. And this was written by this man named what's his name? Edward Gibbons, between the years of 1776 and 1788. And it says he published a huge 6-volume work entitled The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. So going down here, it says, number 1, decline in morals and values. And what does scripture say about that? Let's grab this here in Proverbs 28:2. Like I said, we're going to get maybe 1 or 2 scriptures off of each bullet point, and we're going to keep the train rolling. Proverbs 28:2 in the NLT. When there is moral rot within a nation, its government topples easily, but wise and knowledgeable leaders bring stability. Let's read that one more time. It says, when there is moral rot within a nation, its government topples easily. Now, come on. Now, we all living here in America. We can clearly all see that there's nothing but moral degeneracy and moral rot here in America, and really all throughout the 4 corners of the earth. You see? So 2 + 2 always is going to equal 4. Its government is going to topple easily, and that's what we see. All right, you got here, a part of the campaign of, Kamala. All right, you got this campaign of nigger women saying make America twerk again. That's just one example out of many. But decline in morals and values, man. Women above men, children above men. Okay, the men are effeminized, the women are masculine. You see, children just bad as hell. So it's, and this, once again, this is all speaking about what happened in the ancient pagan Roman Empire. So it says those morals and values that kept together the Roman legions, and thus the empire could not be maintained toward the end of the empire. See, and we're at the end of this revised Roman Empire. So the same thing is happening. It says the dramatic increase of, check this out, of divorce undermine the institution of the family. Let's type this in real quick. Let's see. Let's just type in divorce rate in America. Let's see. If I can't find something, in a reasonable time frame, but we know it's high as hell. Marriage rate, divorce rate. Let's see. Look at this. Half of marriages end in divorce. Okay. Let's click this. I didn't mean to click accept all cookies. God damn. Okay, it says deciding to get a divorce in the United States signifies the start of a legal. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. But nonetheless, I mean, you get the point. Okay, you could look at it. You Google it yourself. All right, look it up. But yeah, over half the marriages end in divorce here. Over half. You see, so that's what happened in the ancient pagan Roman Empire. It says and that's why Yahushua said that we live in an evil and adulterous generation. You see, because sex is marriage according to the scriptures. You see, marriage is not, okay, you going to the so-called white man, okay, for a piece of, legal paper or whatnot. No, sex is marriage according to the scripture. So you just got, these women just leaving a men that they just been laying down with, these men just completely abandoning the women that they've been popping. You see, so this is why Yahweh said that this is an evil and adulterous generation. And when did he say that? He said that during the time of the Roman Empire in the book of Matthew, I believe the 19th chapter. And Matthew, the 12th chapter says the dramatic increase of divorce undermined the institution of the family. You see, it says crimes of violence. Check this out. Crimes of violence made the streets of the largest cities unsafe. Are we not seeing that as well? Especially with this influx of migrants coming. It says even during Pax Romana, there were 32,000 prostitutes in Rome. And Pax Romana, that's speaking about the time of the Roman peace. When the emperor, I believe it was Constantine, when he had, pretty much, tried to establish, the peace, in the Roman Empire about pretty much allowing people to, worship, whatever God they want to worship. Basically, the same thing that we see here. You're free to exercise whatever so-called liberties and rights that you want, based off of the so-called, Constitution, which is created for all men. All right. But anyway, it says even during Pax Romana, there were 32,000 prostitutes in Rome. It says emperors like Nero. All right. Who do we believe Nero is here at Great Millstone? We believe him to be Trump, man. You see, Donald Trump. Emperors like Nero and Caligula became infamous for wasting money on lavish parties where guests ate and drank until they became ill. And everybody knows that Nero or Trump, right? He's been famous for, his involvement with, porn stars and, prostitutes. You see, so as we got earlier, Ecclesiastes 1, okay, history merely repeats itself, man. That's nothing new under the sun. Okay, of course, spirits reincarnate. All right, all of us, we've been here up on the earth as well, but that includes empires as well. Empires reincarnate. You see, it says the most popular amusement was watching the gladiatorial combats in the Colosseum. And what do we have going on right now? Okay, the Olympics. You see, it says these were attended by the poor, the rich, and frequently the emperor himself. As gladiators fought, vicious cries and curses were heard from the audience. One contest after another was staged in the course of a single day. You got all different types of events in the Olympics. You got swimming, you got golfing, you got different sports you ain't never heard of, man. Putt, okay, track, taekwondo, just to feed the people bread and circuses, man, to keep their minds, okay, away from the, the actual impending doom that's pretty much threatening the nation. You see, here we are in the times of World War III. Okay, you got all this tension between Iran and Israel, but yet conveniently you have the Olympics going on right now. This is what was happening in ancient Rome. And this is what tied the decline in morals and values. It says, should the ground become too soaked with blood, it was covered over with a fresh layer of sand, and the performance went on. It says the drive for personal pleasure had become very intense. You can read about that in 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, how people are going to be lovers of their own selves. It says the drive for personal pleasure had become very intense, even to the point of obsession. And people are obsessed with themselves, man. You see? Like I said, yeah, we can expound upon all these, man. All these little bullet points are really lessons in and of themselves. This could really be an 8-part lesson. But for time's sake, we're going to try to condense it. But there's some heavy stuff here, man, because this is literally what we're seeing happening at an all-time high here in Babylon the Great. It says Gibbons noted that at the very end, sports have become more exciting and brutal. Yeah, it's just like new sports are just popping up all over the place, man. People just more enthralled with, ESPN and, it's like, bro, do you not see what time we in? But this is how it's always been. This is how you know that a nation is very well on its way out the door. So bullet point number 2, public health. All right, public health. You see, and we know that the rulers that be, they don't give a damn about your health, man. Okay, everybody's sick. Everybody's dissed to the east. Everybody's packed full with GMOs. Everybody's packed full with sodium triphosphate and, color 53, color red 53, blue 42. Okay. So public health, it was a health crisis, health serious going on during the time of the end of the ancient pagan Roman Empire. Sirach 10:3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. And the one you can blame for this health crisis that's going on here in Babylon the Great, Okay, are your so-called are your king so-called Esau Edom? He's the reason why everybody's sick. You know, from the foods they eat, the air they drink. I go for my little Sabbath walk. Just meditate. Upon the scriptures. Pray. I just came back from my Sabbath walk earlier this morning, and I looked up in the sky, bro. I seen it like at least 10 chemtrails, just one right on top of another. It's like, come on, bro. Like you came and try to take a little healthy walk, but that's this unwise king destroying his own people. You see, it says, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So let me go back here to this article. It says there were many public health and environmental problems. See, public health and environmental problems. There's a lot of problems here in the environment. You see, oil spills in the ocean, whales beaching themselves. Okay, the Amazon rainforest. I remember a few years ago we had a massive fire out there. The bees, they're about to become extinct, which all these particular things, okay, in the environmental chain, if you will, they're all important, man. And if you disrupt, one particular, component of the, in the environmental chain, it throws everything else off balance. It throws the whole earth off of balance, because the earth is a living organism, man. It says there are many public health and environmental problems. Many of the wealthy had water brought to their homes through lead pipes. Previously, the aqueducts had even purified the water, but at the end, lead pipes were thought to be preferable. The wealthy death rate was very high. The continuous interaction of the people at the Colosseum, the blood and death probable spread disease. Those who lived on the streets in continuous contact allowed for an uninterrupted strain of dis-to-the-ease, much like the homeless in the poor run shelters of today. See, you go out here to the streets of Dallas, where we hold camp at, bro, it's getting worse. You see new faces every single day, and all of them, they all look like they're about to drop dead, man. They got open putrefying sores. You could smell them up the street. They're all sick, So this is the same thing that was going on in ancient Rome. It says alcohol use increased as well, adding to the incompetency of the general public. Recently, some postulate that the Roman Empire had extended so far that dis-to-the-eases from other lands could easily make their way back to Rome. See? And with, all different types of modes of transportation today, you got airplanes, trains, of course, cars, boats, any, mode of transportation you could think of. People, they travel a whole bunch. So when they go to these different other countries, they bring back these dis-to-the-eases here in America. You see, just like when that first round of lock dizzies came, they said that dis-to-the-ease came all the way from the Wuhan, from the where is that what was it, Wuhan? Yeah, Wuhan, factory from China. You see, that's because Rome, this revised Roman Empire has extended itself all throughout the planet Earth. You see, so that it exposes it to all different types of things that will destroy its citizens. You see, it says resistance to those dis-to-the-eases were weak. It says bullet point 3, political corruption. All right, so political corruption was at an all-time high. All right, in the ancient pagan Roman Empire. And what does Scripture say here in the book of 2nd Ezra? I'm gonna get into GNT. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 14 in the GNT. Zoom in. It says, the world and the people in it are doomed. Yeah, man. And we the prophets are doomed. We're not over here to tell you people that everything's going to be all right. Now, we're here to tell the elect, okay, everything's going to be all right. But this world and all you people that belong to this world, As living in it, y'all are doomed. You see? We are the prophets of doom, starting with our head apostles and elders and bishops, all right, and great millstone, man. We are the prophets of doom. And that's what the scriptures prophesy of. Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter. Let me grab that real quick. Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 8. I'll start at verse 8. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Yeah, and that's what the Lord is telling us. Those of us as of this household of faith. Don't be like these niggas out here, man. Don't be rebellious. Don't be rebellious, like you so-called, like these so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. You see? It says, open thy mouth and eat what I give thee. And that's what we're doing. That's why we're glued to this ministry. We listen to the words of our apostles. We listen to the words of all the men of the Lord that he has set up to be shepherds over us in these last days. That's us opening our mouths and eating what the Lord gives us. Like the saying in the world, closed mouths don't get fed. You see? And we hungry. And Yahushua says, blessed are you who hunger and thirst. You see? For you shall be filled. So we're opening our mouths and eating this roll, eating this truth, eating these scriptures, man, digesting it in our mental. You see? So we can be filled with that wisdom, knowledge, and stability, which is going to be our stability of these evil times. Verse 9, and when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations, mourning, and woe. You see, this is speaking about the scriptures, man. That's what this Bible is ultimately about, man. It's about uprooting wicked empires. You see, and a part of that is going to be a lot of lamentation, which means crying, mourning and woe, destruction. You see? So, yeah, going back to 2 Ezra 15 and verse 14 in it, GNT, the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. What war is that talking about? World War III. You see, with the very end of it being where? In the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Okay, in the Persian Gulf, which is the desert of Saudi Arabia, which is where our Lord Yahweh Shah is gathering all these nations at here in these latter days, to where he's going to plead or judge against them, okay, on the behalf of starting first and foremost with the elected nation of Israel, man. You see, that's the war that's very near that's going to bring these people destruction, including Russia. Russia ain't going to be unscathed. Russia ain't going to, somehow, make it out of that, man. No. Okay, the Lord, he's dethroning all of you Edomites, man. You see, and all you other nations. It says nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. Are we not seeing that? You see, it says there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. You see, so there will be great political turmoil. So this leads us back to what we're reading here for bullet point 3, okay, in this article, okay, as it's giving us a detailed description, right, of how ancient Rome fell. Okay, bullet point 3 says what? Political corruption. You see? So it says one of the most difficult problems was choosing a new emperor. Unlike Greece, where transition may not have been smooth, but was at least consistent, the Romans never created an effective system to determine how new emperors will be selected. You see, that's why you got all this friction between, or so-called friction, I would say, controlled friction, because we know at the end of the day, okay, Yahweh Bashmal Shah has, given the earth into the hands of the wicked, starting with these elites, the top 1%ers, the elite banking families of the earth, to pretty much appoint who they want to rule every nation. Okay, but here in this algorithm, if you will, as it be, for the common everyday layperson, okay, everybody's bugged down, confused on who the new so-called emperor or president is going to be. You see, that's how it was in ancient Rome. It says the choice was always open to debate between the old emperor, the Senate, the Praetorian Guard, the emperor's private army, and the army. Gradually, the Praetorian Guard gained complete authority to choose the new emperor, who rewarded the guard, who then became more influential, perpetuating the cycle. Then in 186 AD, the army strangled the new emperor, the practice began of selling the throne to the highest bidder. Man, it says during the next 100 years, Rome had 37 different emperors, 25 of whom were removed from office by what? Assassination. It says this contributed to overall weakness of the empire. Come on, man. We're here. America is done. All right. The writing is on the wall. Many tekel upharsin. Hidden conspirators were working within the government to secretly destroy it. You see? And there's a book. There's a book called The Enemy Within. Let's see. I have it somewhere in this house. Let me see if I can. Or is it what, The Hidden Enemy? Let's see. But basically, the book is going into how the real enemies are those that's inside, the ones that's in the government, man. You see, and that's how it was in ancient Rome. Let's read this again. Hidden conspirators were working within the government to secretly destroy it. You see, it says they worked quietly, invisibly, and deceitfully. During the entire time, they were secretly dismantling the government of the Roman Empire. So when we tell you people that that's what's happening now, oh, y'all call us what? Sea theorists. Okay. Oh, man, the government, they will never do that. You see, and we're remembering the former things of old. This is what they've always done. You see? So what makes you think that they're not doing it now? You see? And they're doing it basically for what? Order ab chaos. They want to create the chaos so they could bring in their so-called N to the W to the O. New world, fill in the blank. You see? It says they worked quietly, invisibly, and deceitfully. That's Psalm 64. Micah, the 2nd chapter. It says during the entire time they were secretly dismantling the government of the Roman Empire. They publicly proclaimed their unswerving support of it. See, so in the eyes of the public, they were the most patriotic, the most loyal to their country. Who does it sound like, man? One that comes to mind is Trump. You see, but he's a part of the conspiracy, man. He's a part of helping to overthrow America, man. Despite how patriotic and how gun ho he is about America, make America great again. You see, what about Biden? You build back better. You see? And it's clear Biden don't give a damn about this country. You see? But how does he pose himself to be? He poses himself to be all for America. But they're all enemies. All these people that the elites put out in front of the public, they're all puppets. You see, to try to make it seem like that they're for America. You see? But they're really working underhandedly underneath the table along with the elites to actually destroy this place, man, which is good. It works in our favor, you know, but it's got you Babylonians ultimately deceived. You see, it says they worked quietly, invisibly, and deceitfully. During the entire time, they were secretly dismantling the government of the Roman Empire. They publicly proclaimed their unswerving support of it. People lost their faith, both religiously and in their government. See? Oh, do we not see it today? Absolutely. People don't have, man, the church attendance is at an all-time low. There's a lot of articles you can just simply Google about that. People lost their faith in so-called in God, you see, and in their government, man. And the few people that still have faith in America, they're ready to spark a civil war. It said, prime example, this past 4th of July, a proof that people had lost faith in their government. This past 4th of July, usually I remember, growing up, especially down here in the South, you'll see, flags, American flags everywhere. Everybody be popping fireworks. You smell barbecue. Man, this year I could count on one hand how many American flags I've seen in front of people's yards. I ain't smelled no barbecue. I only heard a few firecrackers. That's because people have lost their faith in this government, man. You see, because they know that this place is being torn apart. And a lot of people are privy to the fact now that their own government officials is doing this themselves, and they're being lied to. It says the efficient Roman government, the efficient Roman government gave way to chaos and disintegration. See, it says bullet point number 4, unemployment. All right, what does Scripture say about this spiritual Egypt, Isaiah the 19th chapter. This is Isaiah chapter 19. Okay. Where's it at? No work for Egypt. Here we go. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14. It says, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. Yeah, there's a perverse spirit here in America. That's why everybody's bugged out. All right. You know, you got this heavy spirit of Moism. This is why it's also known as what? Spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. It says, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit, and they're drunk after the wine, okay, of Esau Edom. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. You see? And this is what we see. This is what we're seeing. You know, I was looking at an article, or an article had, popped up earlier today. I didn't have a chance to look at it, but I've been hearing about it for quite some time. You got all these major retail stores closing down, you know. As a matter of fact, let's just see if we can find something off of it. Let's just type in retail apocalypse. "15 shocking facts about the largest retail apocalypse ever." Okay. The retail apocalypse raged over the last decade. Here's a list of 154 bankruptcies in the retail. Like, like a lot of, Family Dollars, Walmarts, TJ Maxx, Bed Bath & Beyond, a lot of these malls, man, the average mall, I'm pretty sure, you brothers and sisters can clearly see it in the cities that y'all are in. In times past, these malls used to be booming, every Saturday, every Sunday, meet me in the mall is going down. All right. But now ain't nobody in the mall. You see? And that's causing a major ripple effect, for the economy of Babylon. You see? And it's making a lot of people, lose their jobs. You see? But this same epidemic was happening in ancient Rome. And we just got it. Isaiah the 19th chapter. There shall be no work for Egypt. It says, during the latter years of the empire, farming was done on large estates called latifundia that were owned by wealthy men who used slave labor. A farmer had to pay workmen. So like it says, a farmer who had to pay workmen could not produce goods as cheaply. Many farmers could not compete with these low prices and lost or sold their farms. This not only undermined the citizen farmer who passed his values to his family, but also filled the cities with unemployed people, you see? And the elites are intentionally putting a strain on, on these farmers. You see, your everyday, Bob, your farmer who just inherited his land, from his father, from his grandfather, great grandfather. There a lot of them are being bought out by the government. The government is mandating them, okay, to destroy a lot of large parts of their farmland. Okay, you got all these train deep to the railments that's polluted their farmlands. You see, the government is buying them out. You see, BG, Bill G. Okay, he he's buying. As a matter of fact, he's the let's check this out. Everything, hey man, a lot of just use the internet, man. Jake don't look shit up. Elder Apostle Gabar was saying the other day in his lesson, smartphones have made people dumber. Which really it should make people more knowledgeable. But people get on the computer, get on the smartphones and just look at, ass shaking videos all day. But yeah, you got all this knowledge right here, and this is why there's going to be no cloak for you people's sins. You see, because mainly why? Because you got the prophets on the internet, man. You see, breaking these things down, simply going into things that anybody can just simply Google. It's just a Google search. It's right in your pocket. Everybody, you got the answers in your pocket. This is the Urim and the Thummim. You see? But let me see if I can find this. Look, it says, why is BG the largest private farmland owner? You know, especially out here in Texas. You see? You know, buying up, all these good old boys farmland, and putting his claim on it, buying them out, and it's making a lot of farmers lose their jobs, and they're creating a famine. You see? Let me go back. So it says many farmers could not compete with these low prices and lost or sold their farms. I can't forget about this major historical fire that just happened out here in where is that? Not Abilene. I believe it was Amarillo, Texas. It was earlier this year. It was the largest natural wildfire out here in Texas, and people forgot about that already. And it was close to a nuclear plant, where the United States make a lot of their missiles and bombs at, but that it destroyed a whole bunch of farmland, a whole bunch of crops, a whole bunch of cattle, chicken, and that's another thing. Over these past 2 years, you've had literally damn near close to 60,000 plus of food warehouses just mysteriously burned down. Until this day, nobody knows why or how they started or who started it. You see? So not only is this creating a manufactured famine, but this is also, a major contributor to unemployment. So it says this not only undermined the citizen farmer who passed his values to his family, but also filled the cities with unemployed people. At one time, the emperor was importing grain to feed more than 100,000 people in Rome alone. These people were not only a burden, but also had little to do, but caused trouble and contribute to an ever increasing crime rate. You see? So what do you think a society is going to do whenever most of them are laid off of work? The crime rate is going to spike up. And lo and behold, that's what we see happening right now. Bullet point number 5, inflation. Yep, inflation. And that's what scriptures prophesies is going to come. And we're already in times of inflation. We're about to see hyperinflation to where a loaf of bread. Well, let's get it. This is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 5. And it has the title, The Third Seal, Famine. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Let's get this word balances in the Greek. Should be zygos.
Strong's G 2218, Zugos. Zugos.
All right, it says a yoke that is put on draught cattle, because that's exactly how the elites, they see everybody. They just see everybody as cattle. Oh, case in point, whenever, this dragon juice was really, going around, heavily, what was a way or what was a term that they used to pretty much identify the people who received it? Herd immunity. See, herd immunity. Well, what's a herd? A herd is a pack of cattle, you see? And they were likening the people as into that herd. You see, so that's how we're viewed in the sight of these elites, which they're all small hatters, man. And they look at us as goyim, you see, as cattle. Because goyim just don't always just mean nation. It means cattle as well. Beast, you see? So they look at us as goyim, cattle. So it says a yoke that is put on draught cattle, metaphor used of any burden or bondage as that of slavery. You see, and especially this really applies to us, man, as they put us Israelites into slavery, with their zygos. You see, it says a pair of scales, a balance. So let's go back. Let's finish this verse out. It says, and when I heard, so like it, verse 5, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances and in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So let's go into a few words on this 6th verse here. It says a measure of wheat for a penny. Okay, now let's see how much. Yep, let's see what this word measure means in the Greek.
Strong's G 5518. Choinix. Choinix.
Okay, hoinix, it says a dry measure containing 4 codile or 2 sateri, less than our quart, 1 liter, or as much as would support a man of a moderate appetite for a day. You see? So this measure of wheat is just it's a amount of wheat or bread that will support someone who knows how to restrain themselves, you know, when it comes to eating. A man that has a moderate appetite. So a measure of wheat for a penny. Now this word penny is denarion. All right, it says penny. It says a Roman silver coin. Okay, in the New Testament time, it took its name from it being equal to 10 asses. It says a number after 217 BC increased to 16, about 3.898 grams. It was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire. From the parable of the laborers in the vineyard, it was seen that a denarius or penny was then the ordinary pay for a day's wage. You see? So with that understanding, going back, Revelation 6:6, and I heard a voice in the midst of 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat. So you got this small quantity of bread fit for a man that has a moderate appetite for a penny, meaning a day's worth of work. Now let's see, okay, what's the average pay? Average pay a day. I believe it's like maybe like $150. Let's see, average. Look at Jake. Through. Subject to payments. All right, let's see here. Now, let's see. When you ain't doing a lesson, you can find this information easy. You know. When you live, you doing a lesson, it's just like, you know. That's all good. We're gonna find it, and maybe one of you brothers can find it. You know. Let's just type in what's the hourly wage now? In Texas. Nah, that ain't right. 725? Nah. It's all good. Maybe, you know, like I said, maybe one of you brothers, you know, sisters can find it. One of you brothers, like it. One of you Akim can find it. Just put it up for me, Baba Kasha. But yeah, it says a measure of wheat for a penny. Okay, for a day's wage. You know, say for instance, you know, your daily wage, you know, you get paid today, you know, modern times, you know, $150 a day. Well, that $150 would just get you, okay, just a loaf of bread. You see, that's inflation. That's hyperinflation. It said, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And the elect is going to be taken care of by this oil and this wine, which is this truth, which is likened to oil and wine. But I just wanted to get all of that because, damn, what happened? Up to my article. Because that's what happened in ancient Rome. I might have to pull it back up. Here we go. Inflation. All right. So bullet point number 5, inflation. It says the imposition of higher taxes. See that? Higher taxes undermine the economic stability and vitality of the empire. Taxes were raised to pay for deficit government spending, to pay for food for all in society, and to pay for government-sponsored activities of diversion, such as circuses and sports. See? So all your tax money is going to frivolous things. It says, interestingly, as the time of the final collapse drew closer, greater emphasis was placed on sports. See? So as the time of the final collapse grew closer, okay, in these times, right, World War III, all right, MOTB, it says a greater emphasis was placed on sports. To do what? To divert the attention of the public from distressing news or massive trouble within the empire. Hence the word we just went into earlier, desensitization. Everybody's desensitized now because of these bread and circuses. Okay, they're not paying attention unto these particular threats and wars and rumors of wars are going on. Because the enemies is working within, as we got at bullet point number 3, under political corruption, they're with their witchcraft, okay, with their enchantments and witchcraft, they have the minds of you people absolutely confused. You see? It says the Roman economy suffered from inflation, the increase in prices beginning after the reign of Marcus Aurelius. Once the Romans stopped conquering new lands, the flow of gold into the Roman economy decreased. Yet much gold was being spent by the Romans to pay for luxury items. This meant that there was less gold to use in coins. As the amount of gold used in coins decreased, the coins became less valuable. See, just like this fiat currency we have now. You see, especially after it was taken off the gold standard. You see, with all this money, okay, well, basically the money not being in circulation anymore because of inflation and people's trying to hold on to it, is causing the money to lose its value. You see, it says to make up for the loss in value, merchants raised the prices on the goods they sold. Many people stopped using coins and began to barter to get what they needed. And that's why when you pay attention to the price of gold and the price of silver is skyrocketing right now. You see, because gold and silver and particular precious commodities of earth has always been, the number one barter system, Now, eventually we know that, like scriptures say, silver and gold is not going to be able to save you in that day, but, people of this world, a lot of people, they really, even certain brothers, there's nothing wrong with it, but, it's not going to save you. But, that's the number one bartering system is gold and silver, because people know that that this fiat currency is on its way out the door. It doesn't have any value anymore. Very soon you're going to have people just like they were in Venezuela, just burning, going out to the city squares and just burning their that paper currency. As a matter of fact, it speaks about that here in Ezekiel the 7th chapter. Let's see if we can find this. Ezekiel chapter 7. Yep. Ezekiel 7. Let's start at verse 5. Thus saith the Lord, power and evil, and only but evil, behold, is come. An end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. Skipping down here to verse 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. You see? Let's go back here. It says, eventually, salaries had to be paid in food and clothing, and taxes were collected in fruits and vegetables. And this is why the elites are going so hard, okay, to pretty much, change this economic structure, which Yahweh Shai even prophesied of it in the form of a parable in Luke the 12th chapter, that rich man that had, many riches, and he tore down his barns to build back greater, you see. And that's Esau basically, destroying this current, infrastructure of his economy to build back better. You see, in the form of digitalization, You see, and ultimately, the ultimate form, of payment, if you want to buy or purchase anything, or sell anything, you're gonna have to get that MOTB. All right. So, bullet point number 6: urban decay. All right, urban decay, and we all see that. Got more potholes everywhere. All right, America's just worn out. How is this such a young country, but yet it's worn out? It's decayed already, man. You go to particular states and cities, like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Man, Philadelphia is, bro, that looks like a scene from what you call that movie, Book of Eli. You go to Philly, it looks like a scene from the Book of Eli, man. It just looks all run down and desolate. You got all those, Detroit as well. You got all those empty, skyscrapers. You got weeds and thistles growing inside of the buildings. You got, homeless people, inhabiting them. Urban decay. Same thing was happening in ancient Rome. So let me grab this here in Isaiah the 14th chapter, as this chapter goes into the fall of Babylon, which we know Babylon, right, is America. So this is Isaiah chapter 14. Let's see here. Worm. Let's see. Go down to the worm. Let's see. Salakia. I know it's. I'm just kind of getting these precepts, as they come to mind, so just bear with me. I know which chapter they're in, but as far as like the specific verse, I just got to look for it. Let's see. It speaks about the worm. I'll just type in worm here. Here we go. Isaiah 14 and 11. Let's start right here, verse 10. It says, and this is speaking about the fall of the king of Babylon. It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And this is these nations casting this taunting proverb against the king of Babylon, just like Habakkuk the 2nd chapter says, man. You see, it says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Let's grab this word worm. Okay. Strong's H 47, Salakia 74:15. Ramah. It says worm. Check this out. For the Brown Drivers Briggs lexicon, it says cause and sign of decay. You see, and this is speaking about America. See, so this worm is known as what? Cause and sign of decay. Feeding on dead, corruption, insignificant man. Ooh. See? So let's go back to this article. What does it say? Bullet point number 6, urban decay. You see? City decay. Just a personal testimony. Before I moved out here to Texas about 5 to call me. But yeah, before I moved out here to Texas about 5 years, well, when I first moved out here to Texas, you go to the downtown area, it was way cleaner. You didn't see all the trash and debris, all the homeless people, all the bumps in the roads. But just within these past 5 years, the urban decay here, just in the DFW area, has dramatically decreased, man. It's dramatically gotten worse. And it's like that all throughout Babylon the Great. You go over there to Skid Row in California. You go to the Bay Area, San Francisco, Utah, Los Angeles, New York. Man, New York is just an absolute dump, New York is an absolute dump, man. So, but this is just all a sign of a falling empire. So it says wealthy Romans lived in a domus or house with marble walls, floors with intricate colored tiles, and windows made of small panes of glass. Most Romans, however, were not rich. they lived in small, smelly rooms in apartment houses with 6 or more stories called islands. Sound familiar? Sound like the average, project or neighborhood especially in New York. You know, most of these people that live in New York, they're not wealthy. You see, they're lower middle class to middle they're lower middle class, or they're part of the poor class, man. And it says they live in small, smelly rooms. Right, you got rat infestations. All those most of those apartments up in New York. Roach infestations. Says they lived in small, smelly, and New York is supposed to be like the golden city of the golden city, man. The Big Apple, the place where everybody want to go to, Broadway, But when you get there, you see one thing on TV, but when you get there, it smell like shit, man. Especially you go over there to Harlem, the Bronx, even over there, next to Central Park, with Central Park. And at one time they used to, which we know, the dark history of Central Park. But in that area, that was supposed to be, that's supposed to be like a rich area. But Central Park is tore up now, man. Over there by St. Nicholas Street. I used to, be up there often, man. But that is the hood, Gang bangers, just drug dealers on every corner, man. In broad daylight, But that's supposed to be the apex of America, New York. You see, it says they lived in small, smelly rooms in apartment houses. Oh, that makes me think about that scene of Coming to America, when he said, "Take me to the most common part," and that dude he had said, "Well, that's one thing. We got a lot of up here." And, he took him to that old rundown apartment. He had the outline, a chalk outline of a nigga that died there, and his dog and his cane, That's like your average New York apartment, man. But that's the pride of the Chaldees' excellency. You see? And that's how it was in ancient Rome, man. All the concrete everywhere, People just nasty. It says they lived in small, smelly rooms in apartment houses with 6 or more stories called islands. Each island covered an entire block. Bro, that's your average day apartment. That's what they had in Rome. It says at one time there were, and these apartments are pretty much modeled after those caves, from the Caucasus Mountains, man. And see, because Esau, he makes his dwelling in abode in those mountains, Just like the Flintstones, and he tries to, and his spirit resonates with that. That's why you got all these high rises, man. It says at one time there were 44,000 apartment houses within the city walls of Rome. First floor apartments were not occupied by the poor, since these living quarters rented for about it has $0 a year. Okay, maybe that's a typo. It says the more shaky wooden stairs a family had to climb, the cheaper the rent became. The upper apartments that the poor rented were $40 a year. They were hot, dirty, crowded, and dangerous. Anyone who could not pay the rent was forced to move out and live on the crime-infested streets. Because of this, cities began to decay. So you add, inflation, you add job losses, you see? So the enemies that's within this government, they're all working to bring, this disorder, this chaos. And that's exactly what we're witnessing here in America. So give me 1 second. All right. So, yeah. Let's go here to bullet point number 7. We're almost done. Bullet point number 7. Inferior technology. All right. Inferior technology. It says during the last 400 years of the empire, the scientific achievements of the Romans were limited almost entirely to engineering and the organization of public services. They built marvelous roads, bridges, and aqueducts. They established the first system of medicine for the benefit of the poor. But since the Romans relied so much on human and animal labor, they failed to invent many new machines or find new technology. And this is why they're trying to replace everybody, okay, with robots. You see, they're trying to not rely anymore on human labor. It says, but since the Romans relied so much on human and animal labor, they failed to invent many new machines to find new technology to produce goods more efficiently. They could not provide enough goods for their growing population. They were no longer conquering other civilizations and adapting their technology. They were actually losing territory they could no longer maintain with their legions. You see, and when you look at it, China is pretty much leading the way when it comes to technological advancements right now. You see, because America, Esau, he's still stuck in his glory days. The pride of his heart has deceived him. So he thinks he's going to stay on top forever, continue to be the head of everything, the head of technology, the head of the military, the head of everything. You see, but not knowing what he knows now. OK, but now it's too late. China, as we're reading this article here, this is off of www.reuters.com. And it says China leads U.S. in global competition for key emerging technology, study says. When you consider these these chips, these microscopic, technological chips, China, Taiwan especially, they're the main, and that's why America is in league with Taiwan. But China, all this technology, comes from China, man. You see, so this was published March the 2nd, 2023. China has a stunning lead in 37 out of 44 critical and emerging technologies as Western democracies lose a global competition for research output. Like we said, it's because Esau's still stuck in his glory days, thinking that he's going to, just continue to stay, the world superpower. It's why he hasn't invested that much in his defense system. He's just mainly been focused upon his military might, the sword. So it says a security think tank said on Thursday, after tracking defense, space, energy, and biotechnology, it says the Australian Strategic Policy Institute said its study showed that in some fields, all of the world's top 10 research institutions are based in China. See? The top 10 of the whole world, those research institutions are all based in China. So that speaks for itself. And this article just continues, to go in, how China's, the number one. They're the number one when it comes to leading the way in these technological advancements now. So that's another sign of, America losing its, this revised Roman Empire, losing its grip, losing its hegemony, if you will. So last bullet point. Number 8, military spending. Military spending. And, we can all, see how America has been, overextending itself when it comes to, spending military in its military sector, giving all this money to Ukraine, to Israel, As a matter of fact, let me grab this here. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. And it's just racking up more and more debt. Because I believe at the beginning of this year, the debt on the debt clock for the United States, it was 35 trillion. What is it at now? Let me see some U.S. debt clock. Real time. There you have it. USDebtClock.org. U.S. national debt. 35.1 trillion, man. It's still counting. It's not going to stop. But eventually this bubble's going to have to pop, man. And it gives you the breakdown of his largest budget items down here. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, defense, war, interest on debt. See? This was Rome's downfall, man. So let's grab this in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, real quick. All right. Thick clay. There's give me 1 second. Dang. See, when I look at it in my scripture, I know exactly when I turn to my Bible, it's just muscle memory. But, looking at it on the laptop is a little different. Give me 1 second. All right, I'll just type it in. Habakkuk 2 and 6. And it reads, and when you go into this chapter, Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, okay, it's pretty much the Lord giving the prophet Habakkuk, as he's standing up on his watchtower, a vision, of Esau, Edom, and how he'll be ruling in these last days, heaping unto himself all nations. You see, he's as death and hell, just putting a complete, he's putting complete hell upon the inhabitants of the earth. And the 3rd chapter goes into Esau's destruction, his demise, when the Lord invades his man with his troops. And that's what's going to happen next. But first, Esau, he has to do this necessary evil. And a part of that necessary evil, is him, is him getting in more and more debt. You see, but then he punishes everybody else for being in debt towards him. You see. But anyway, Habakkuk chapter 2 and 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? That's right, because everything that you Edomites have has been stolen. You see? It says, how long? See, that's a question that all the prophets, a lot of the prophets ask, man. Asaph, Ezra, Habakkuk. How long is this going to go on? We asking the same thing. How much longer? That's why we're measuring the times. We're remembering the former things of old, okay? Drawing 2 and 2 together between, how ancient pagan Roman Empire fell and how America's following, because this is us giving a better, time frame on how long this is going to incur. And as we stated earlier, man, the writing's on the wall. America's on its way out. And it says, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. This word thick clay, Strong's H, 5671. I bought you. All right. Weight of pledges, heavy debts. You see? Heavy debts. And we just looked at the U.S. debt time clock, man. This is heavy debts. And part of that heavy debts is because of his military spending, nationally and internationally, because Esau has spread himself out thin, in the form of this beast system. So in him, trying to maintain his power, he has to, it takes a hell of a lot of money, man, to maintain this power. That's why he's sending that money over, billions of dollars to Ukraine, billions of dollars to the ultimate welfare babies, those small hatters, and it's not stopping. But eventually this bubble's going to have to pop. All right. And this is why all these other nations now they have a league of their own. You see the BRICS currency, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And then you got a whole slew of other nations that's grouping along with them. You see, this is a part of that taunting proverb. So it says maintaining military spending, maintaining an army to defend the border of the empire from barbarian attacks was a constant drain on the government. See, military spending left few resources for other vital activities, such as providing public housing. And this is why you niggas that's dependent upon EBT, okay, and WIC, you're about to be sore confounded, man. And the only way you're going to be able to maintain those particular dainty meats, all right, of Esau, Edom, you're going to have to get the MOTB, you see? It says providing public housing and maintaining quality roads and aqueducts. And this another reason why, all right, infrastructure or urban decay is at an all-time high, because they're not investing that much into society how they used to. Now their investments are over the pond, if you will. You see? So it says military spending left few resources for other vital activities such as providing public housing and maintaining quality roads and aqueducts. Frustrated Romans, okay, in today's time, frustrated Americans or Babylonians lost their desire to defend the empire. See, that's why nobody wants to fight, okay, for America anymore. You see, this is why they got to have a draft. You know, the recruitment numbers have been at an all-time low for all the branches of the U.S. Military. You know, the Navy, the Marines, the Army, you see, because everybody's frustrated with America because they see that the powers that be, they don't give a damn about their citizens, you know, but they're spending all these billions of dollars, okay, to these other giving all these billions of dollars to these other nations. So it says frustrated Romans lost their desire to defend the empire. The empire had to begin hiring soldiers recruited from the unemployed city mobs, or worse, from foreign counties. See, this is why you got all these immigrants over here. And this is why it's a draft. Such an army was not only unreliable, but very expensive. The emperors were forced to raise taxes frequently, which in turn led again to increased inflation. So the writing's on the wall. I'm going to read this last little section. Agriculture. Note, agriculture also seems to be an important issue when discussing the decline of world powers. Toward the end of the decline of the Roman Empire, the farms around Rome appeared to be underutilized. In other cultures, underutilized. You got once again these train derailments that poison all these farmlands, so now they're not farming on it. Wildfires. It says in other cultures, the minerals and nutrients of the soil have been stripped by over cultivation. You see, because he doesn't give the land a Sabbath rest like it's supposed to. You see, and then chiefly because he's Cain. Periodically, leaving fields fallow permits the minerals and nutrients to build back up. Also, valuable topsoil blows away when vegetation, trees, grass are taken away. Without the topsoil, very little can be grown, and the strength of a nation gradually crumbles. So we got through it. So yeah, man, I just want to go through these particular 8 bullet points to show that we're here. You know, we're here, and the same. You know, as a matter of fact, let me read the title of this lesson again. America and EU are on the same path of decline as ancient Rome. You see? So those with spiritual eyes, it should be clearly seen that we're here. So that's the point. You know, Lord willing, you Akim and Aquath were edified. Let's see, I got the end menu. Okay, yeah, and I'll put this link, in the as a matter of fact, let me see if I can do that right now. I'll put this link in the okay, well, it's not on this phone. I had to do it after I upload this lesson. But yeah, we'll put it up there, so you Akim and Aquath, can take a look at it. But Lord willing, y'all were edified with this lesson. Till next time, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem Hakodash. I want to give double honors to our beloved apostle and great millstone, Mawaf Babal, Shalom.